stand for the chanting of the 3 refuges. And please repeat after me the English translation. I go for refuge to the Buddha.
I go for refuge to the Buddha.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment.
And realize the great way.
And realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
I go for refuge to the Dharma.
And resolve with all beings.
And resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings
I will penetrate the teachings
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha
I go for refuge to the Sangha
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
Please be seated.
Welcome to this special service. We celebrate the Buddha's Parinirvana. Our service will be officiated by the Venerable Haju Sunu.
This next part of the service, we offer the Mournful Chat. This is in mourning of the Buddha's death. And today, I invite you to also think of many others who've died this past year and to join us in the mourning. It has 5 syllables. A, E, U, no, O, U. A, E, O, U. And the mournful chanting, you can think of it as if you heard a wolf howling, and then you kind of howl back. And we all do it in a cacophony, so not necessarily together, for just a few minutes. So that's A, E, I-O-U, like A-E-I-O-U. Okay. In the last 3 months of his life, the Buddha traveled the area of India where he taught to, in a certain way, review all the basic teachings with his followers. So as part of this service, we remember these teachings. So please bring your hands together in hapchang of sincere heart and compose yourself. You are a seeker to receive these teachings into your very marrow. The Four Noble Truths. The truth of suffering. The truth of the cause of suffering. The truth of the cessation of suffering. The truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering.
The Noble Eightfold Path. Right view. Right intention. Right speech. Right action. Right livelihood. Right effort. Right mindfulness. Right concentration.
The three marks of conditioned existence. 1, impermanence. 2, non-self. 3, suffering to attain nirvana.
The four pure abodes. The practice of loving kindness. The practice of compassion. The practice of sympathetic joy. The practice of equanimity. The threefold training. Shila, cultivation of morality, our ethical awakening. Samadhi, meditative concentration and awakening to Dharma, our spiritual awakening. Prajna, cultivation of wisdom and awakening to interconnectedness, our social awakening.
Six paramitas. Dana paramita. May I be generous and helpful. Shila paramita. May I be pure and virtuous. Kasanti paramita. May I be patient. May I be able to bear and forbear the wrongs of others. Virya paramita. May I be strenuous, energetic, and persevering. Dhyana paramita. May I practice meditation and attain concentration and oneness to serve all beings. Prajna paramita. May I gain wisdom and be able to give the benefit of my wisdom to others.
For this part of our special Parinirvana service to commemorate the Buddha's passing, we will read a selection from Old Path White Clouds, which relates the story at that time. We will share our reading, and I encourage you, it's a little bit long, to move a little bit, to stand, to watch and listen, but in whatever way to compose yourself as a seeker to listen deeply. Okay. Old Path, White Clouds, Chapter 80, Be Diligent. It was dusk by the time the Buddha and the bhikkhus reached the forest of cell trees. The Buddha asked Ananda to prepare a place between two cell trees for him to lie down. The Buddha lay on his side, his head facing north. All the bhikkhus sat around him. They knew that the Buddha would pass into nirvana that same night.
The Buddha looked up at the trees and said, "Ananda, look! It is not yet spring, but the sal trees are covered with red blossoms. Do you see the petals falling on the Tathagata's robes and the robes of all the bhikkhus? The forest is truly beautiful. Do you see the western horizon all aglow from the setting sun? Do you hear the gentle breeze rustling in the sal branches? The Tathagata finds all these things lovely and touching. Bhikkhus, if you want to please me, if you want to express your respect and gratitude to the Tathagata, there is only one way, and that is by living the teaching."
The evening was warm, and Venerable Upavana stood over the Buddha to fan him, but the Buddha asked him not to. Perhaps the Buddha did not want his splendid view of the setting sun obstructed.
The Buddha asked Venerable Anuruddha, "I do not see Ananda. Where is he?" Another bhikkhu spoke up. "I saw Brother Ananda standing behind some trees weeping. He was saying to himself, 'I have not yet attained my spiritual goal, and now my teacher is dying. Who has ever cared more deeply for me than my teacher?'"
The Buddha asked the bhikkhu to summon Ananda. The Buddha tried to comfort Ananda. He said, "Don't be so sad, Ananda. The Tathagata has often reminded you that all dharmas are impermanent. With birth, there is death. With arising, there is dissolving. With coming together, there is separation. How can there be birth without death? How can there be arising without dissolving? How can there be coming together without separation? Ananda, you have cared for me with all your heart for many years. You have devoted all your efforts to helping me, and I am most grateful to you. Your merit is great, Ananda, but you can go even farther. If you make just a little more effort, you can overcome birth and death. You can attain freedom and transcend every sorrow. I know you can do that, and that is what would make me the most happy."
Turning to the other bhikkhus, the Buddha said, "No one has been as good an attendant as Ananda. Other attendants in the past sometimes dropped my robe or bowl to the ground, but never Ananda. He has taken care of all my needs, from the tiniest detail to the largest tasks. Ananda always knew when and where a bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, lay disciple, king, official, or practitioner from a different religious sect should meet with me. He arranged all meetings most effectively and intelligently. The Tathagata believes that no enlightened master in the past or future could have attended more talented, or could have an attendant more talented and devoted than Ananda."
Venerable Ananda wiped his tears and said, "Lord, please don't pass away here. Kusinara is just a small town of mud dwellings. There are so many more worthy places like Sampa, Rajagaha, Spati, Sakata, Kosambi, or Varanasi. Please, Lord, select such a place to pass away so that more people will have a chance to see your face one last time."
The Buddha replied, Ananda, Kusinara is also important, even if it is no more than a small town of mud dwellings. The Tathagata finds this forest most agreeable. Ananda, do you see the sal flowers falling about me? The Buddha asked Ananda to go into Kusinara and announce to the Mallas that the Buddha would pass into nirvana in the grove of sal trees at the night's last watch. When the Malla people heard this news, they hastily made their way to the forest. An ascetic named Subhadda was among them. While the people took turns bowing to the Buddha, Subhadda asked Venerable Ananda if he could have an audience with the Buddha. Ananda refused, saying the Buddha was too tired to receive anyone. But the Buddha overheard their conversation and said, Ananda, let ascetic Subhadda speak with me. The Tathagata will receive him.
Ascetic Subhadda knelt before the Buddha. He had long felt drawn to the Buddha's teachings, but had never met him before. He bowed and said, Lord, I have heard about spiritual teachers such as Purana Kashyapa, Makali Gosala, Ajita Kosakambalan, Pakuda Kakyana, Sanjaya Bulatiputa, and Nigantha Nataputa. I would like to ask if, according to you, any of them attained true enlightenment.
The Buddha answered, Subhadda, whether or not they attained enlightenment is not a necessary thing to discuss now. Subhadda, the Tathagata will show you the path by which you can attain enlightenment. The Buddha spoke to Subhadda about the Noble Eightfold Path. He concluded saying, Subhadda, wherever the Noble Eightfold Path is truly practiced, you will find people who have attained enlightenment. Subhadda, if you follow this path, you too can attain enlightenment.
Ascetic Subhadda felt his heart suddenly opened. He was filled with great happiness. He asked the Buddha to accept him as a bhikkhu. The Buddha asked the Venerable Anuruddha to perform the ordination ceremony right then and there. Subhadda was the last disciple received by the Buddha. After Subhadda's head was shaved, he received the precepts and was given a robe and bowl. The Buddha then looked at all the bhikkhus sitting around him. Many bhikkhus from the vicinity had arrived, and so there were now nearly 500. The Buddha spoke to them. Bhikkhus, if you have any doubts or perplexity concerning the teaching, now is the time to ask the Tathagata about it. Don't let this opportunity pass by, so that later you will reproach yourselves, saying, that day I was face to face with the Buddha, but I did not ask him. The Buddha repeated these words 3 times, but no bhikkhu spoke.
Venerable Ananda exclaimed, Lord, it is truly wonderful. I have faith in the community of bhikkhus. I have faith in the Sangha. Everyone has clearly understood your teaching. No one has any doubts or perplexity about your teaching and the path to realize it. The Buddha said, Ananda, you speak from faith, while the Tathagata has direct knowledge. The Tathagata knows that all the bhikkhus here possess deep faith in the 3 gems. Even the lowest attainment among the bhikkhus is that of stream enterer.
The Buddha looked quietly over the community and then said, "Bhikkhus, listen to what the Tathagata now says. Dharmas are impermanent. If there is birth, there is death. Be diligent in your efforts to attain liberation."
The Buddha closed his eyes. He had spoken his last words. The earth shook. Sal blossoms fell like rain. Everyone felt their minds and bodies tremble. They knew the Buddha had passed into nirvana.
The Buddha had passed away. Some bhikkhus threw up their arms and flung themselves on the ground. They wailed, "The Buddha has passed away. The Lord has died. The eyes of the world are no more. Who can we take refuge in now?"
While these bhikkhus cried and thrashed about, other bhikkhus sat silently, observing their breath and contemplating the things the Buddha had taught them. Venerable Anuruddha spoke up, "Brothers, do not cry so pitifully. The Lord Buddha taught us that with birth there is death, with arising there is dissolving, with coming there is separation. If you understand and follow the Buddha's teaching, you will cease to make such disturbances. Please sit up again and follow your breathing. We will maintain silence."
Everyone returned to his place and followed Venerable Anuruddha's counsel. He led them in reciting sutras they all knew by heart, which spoke about impermanence, emptiness of self, non-attachment, and liberation. Calm dignity was restored. The malas lit torches. Sounds of chanting echoed impressively in the dark night as everyone placed his full awareness on the words in the sutras. After a lengthy recitation, Venerable Anuruddha gave a Dharma talk. He praised the Buddha's attainments, his wisdom, compassion, virtue, concentration, joy, and equanimity. When Venerable Anuruddha finished speaking, Venerable Ananda recounted beautiful episodes from the Buddha's life. Throughout the night, the two venerables took turns speaking. The 500 bhikkhus and 300 lay disciples listened quietly. As torches burned down, new ones were lit to take their places until dawn broke.
Venerable Samusunam, our founder, asks us to remember that the Buddha was born under a tree action. Next, in this special Parinirvana service, the 10 Dharma gates of the Spring Wind Sangha, which is the name of our greater Sangha, including all of our temples here in Ann Arbor, in Chicago, in Toronto, New York, and Mexico City. Hayun will recite these 10 Dharma gates. Again, please compose yourselves. You are a seeker, and allow your whole body-mind to listen deeply.
Ten Dharma gates of Spring Wind Sangha. 1. Buddha Shakyamuni attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. 2. He saw with his wisdom eye that all beings were endowed with Buddha nature, each and every one, no exceptions. 3. Thereafter, the Buddha spent 45 years on the road, teaching the way of Buddha to the multitude, for the peace of the world and the happiness of all beings. 4. Since that time, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and great masters of the 10 directions and the 3 worlds have carried forward the truth. They have declared that all beings are Buddhas from the beginning, striving with this teaching to save everyone from ignorance and suffering. 5. Over the centuries, these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and great masters made special vows out of compassion and used many skillful means to inspire their contemporaries and fellow beings. They urged everyone to look for the Buddha within. 6. Together, these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and great masters have passed on to us the Dharma of hope and purification, and the way of wisdom and emancipation. They have entrusted us with the continued transmission of Dharma in the light of wisdom. 7. When we awaken to the Buddha within, surrender ourselves to the tradition of the 3 jewels, and apprehend the manifestation of the 3 bodies of Buddha. Then Dharma's sun begins to shine in our everyday life. The wheel of Dharma turns, and we are blessed by its turning. And we live in the Dharma realm, amidst an ailing and troubled world. 8. Out of deep humility and boundless gratitude to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas before us, we wake up again and again. We vow constant practice. We strive to shine again out of clouds. Be ye a lamp. 9. Remember, it is your Buddha who meditates, lights candles, chants, and does prostrations. Remember that it is your Bodhisattva who plays the wake-up moktok, rings the bell, cleans the temple, and greets visitors at the door. Remember that each of your acts is nothing short of full awakening, and that every service you render completely fulfills your Bodhisattva vow to liberate all beings. 10. Stop seeking holiness, for the way of Buddha is no other than common everyday life. Serve all beings as Buddhas, because Buddhas are no other than everyday, ordinary people.
The next part of our service is to chant the Buddha's name, Sangha Munibul, in our Korean Sun tradition. And while chanting, to make offering to the Buddha in gratitude for his teachings, his life, that has come down to this very moment over more than 2,500 years. 2 millenniums and many centuries. As we do the Sangha Munibul chanting, we will be, each of us, offering flowers. These will be genuine Buddhist offerings, these snowdrops that are just still in bloom this early spring day. And when we offer them, again, it's an appreciation for Buddhism's place, part in our life and in our bones. So that will be the first offering of several snowflowers that we'll offer. And then until the snowdrops are gone, we will, each of us, keep offering. Some for those who have died in the pandemic and their families, for those who are facing difficult circumstances as refugees, as immigrants. I will leave it up to each person to choose themselves what their genuine Buddhist offering will be. And you too can join in. Perhaps you have a flower or a vase of flowers in your home. Maybe a bowl with some fruit in it, or just something precious that you would like to put on your altar, which is an emblem or a symbol of your genuine Buddhist offerings, of your appreciation. And in turn, as we make these offerings, it is our way to help in the world, at a time when the whole world is on fire. How can we help? Okay, so let's please stand. Here's this little bowl of I guess I need to stand where you'll be able to see. It was a real pleasure to go out this morning and to pick these snowdrops. They're the flowers that come first thing. Oftentimes, when even there's a snow, the snowdrops come. So it means that they're very spunky flowers. So as we offer them, we can remember also we are very spunky people. We can do it. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a place where Ma'um and Hayun and Sogan, who have been joining in this service this morning in a beautiful, beautiful way. So they'll pick up and they'll make their own genuine Buddhist offering. And then as the flowers are still on this offering bowl, they will keep going, making offerings for the well-being of others, fellow beings on our earth. So I'm going to stand a little bit to the side to do the Silva Munibul chanting. And I'll just remember, let's go over the words. It's S-O-G-A, Suga, please say.
Suga.
M-U-N-I, Muni.
Muni.
B-U-L, Bul.
Bull.
Suga Munibul.
Suga Munibul.
Suga Munibul.
Suga Munibul.
Okay, maybe I'll go on this other side. So I'm not in the way. Okay.
Suga Munibul. 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 Suga Munibul.
Please repeat after me. Let peace and happiness prevail.
Let peace and happiness prevail.
Let love and wisdom prevail.
Let love and wisdom prevail.
Let the teachings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas spread.
Let the teachings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas spread.
Gate, gate,
Gate, gate,
para gate,
Paragate,
Parasamgate,
Parasamgate,
Bodhisvaha,
Bodhisvaha,
Gate, Gate,
Gate, Gate,
Paragate,
Paragate,
Parasamgate,
Parasamgate,
Bodhisvaha,
Bodhisvaha,
Gate, Gate,
Gate, Gate,
Paragate,
Paragate,
Parasamgate,
Parasamgate,
Bodhisvaha.
Bodhisvaha.
And again from our founder, Venerable Samusunam, the Buddha passed away in order to prove the three marks of all conditioned phenomena: impermanence, non-self, suffering, to attain nirvana. He passed away so that each of us in successive generations could awaken like him, that we could take up training to become Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for the world. He passed away so that the legacy of Dharma and Sangha would prevail in successive generations. Again, please repeat after me. Whatever merit we may have earned,
Whatever merit we may have earned
from our participation in this service this morning,
from our participation in this service this morning,
we offer for the relief of suffering
we offer for the relief of suffering
and peace and happiness of all beings.
and peace and happiness of all beings.
Maha Prajna Paramita.
Maha Prajna Paramita.
And our special song, which we discussed at breakfast this morning. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me, because I am in you and you are in me. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me, because I am in you and you are in me. One more time, please join in. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me, because I am in you and you are in me. And the sun has been coming and going as well this morning. It's really been nice to have you with us as we try to do this service, which we think needs to be done with everybody present. And we hope that that will be sooner rather than later. Let us know by chat how it went for you, if you could hang in with the way it was. And just check in from wherever you are. It is a great delight for us to read your comments and to know you've been out there. So as usual, we have some simple announcements, so just a couple more minutes and then we're free to enjoy the rest of this spring day. Hayun is going to make our announcements.
Good morning, everyone. This beautiful Sunday. 3 announcements. First of all, we have a very special offering this coming week for you to join in on fully or partially, depending on your schedule. And that is our spring retreat. As the spring flowers come up, so does the spring retreat in Ann Arbor. And so this time we're going to be doing it with all of our temples virtually. It's going to be led by Haju Sunim, who will be giving Dharma talks each day in the mid-morning to noon hour, and then again in the evening at around 7:30. And so it begins this coming Thursday, the 1st, at 11 a.m. And there's a whole schedule of sitting meditation. You can do walking meditation. It then continues all day on the 2nd, all day on the 3rd, and it finishes on the 4th at 11 a.m. So it's a 2.5 to 3 day retreat. And so if you'd like to be included, let us know. It's going to be a Zoom retreat, so we need to have your email to include you. And our priests and teachers can share with you the schedule of the day. It's in the e-bulletin if you get that. And also you can then link in for the Dharma talks. So that's number 1. Number 2, as the flowers grow, our landscape looks beautiful, and there is this amazing garden crew which has started off. We have a great team. If you'd like to join our garden team, we have big plans. Haju Sunim has a 5-year plan for our garden. So be a part of the team. We meet every Saturday afternoon from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6, depending on when you can stay till. And we invite you to take part. You can just turn up for that, to plant some turnips if you'd like. And then the third thing that I wanted to mention is, just as usual, we're going to be doing our Wednesday service, our Wednesday evening sitting at 6:30 p.m., but we will not be doing the Sunday service next weekend because we will be doing the retreat instead. So we invite you to join the retreat as opposed to tuning in our live stream for the Sunday service. And with that, I just want to again say thank you. I think we can never say thank you enough for your support and continue just like being a rock for this temple, helping us through these times with your financial, emotional, mental, and physical support. We are so grateful, and we are one, and we are blessed by your presence. So with that, I will turn it back to Haju Sunim, and she will do the 4 great vows to end.
Just before the 4 great vows, it just occurred to me, we're really learning as Buddhists, a lot of us new Buddhists, that this is like the Parinirvana service day, and this day is like one of the most important days of our Buddhist year. I suppose it could be likened to Easter. They often come together quite close to each other. The others are the Buddha's enlightenment, his birth. And so as we year by year experience these, we learn that these special days can really mean a lot to us, and we can treat them like maybe getting dressed up and doing something special today, or being the person who makes some kind of special offering to someone else who may appreciate it, so that we learn that on a special Buddhist day, which is every day of course, but this is a special one, we can make some genuine Buddhist offerings, and I hope you will do that with the sincere heart. Often it won't be something you plan, but there'll be an opportunity that just comes up right in front of your nose. Let us know about that one. Okay. Please recite after me the 4 great vows. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.